Coming up next on this special Arizona Education edition of Arizona Horizon, we'll look at the history and impact of the state's charter schools. Also tonight, we'll hear how specialty schools in Arizona are preparing high school students for work and college. Those stories next on this special edition of Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to this special Arizona Education edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. We start tonight with a look at charter schools. Arizona is often considered a leader in the school choice movement, due in large part to state-funded charters. We'll hear from an education advocate along with one of the founders of the state's charter school movement in a moment. But first, producer Christina Estes and photographer Kyle Mounts visit Basis, one of the most successful brands in the charter movement.
It's one of the first things you notice at Basis.
There are no bells.
No bells directing students to get to class.
It helps the kids stay on time and manage their own time. They're responsible for tracking their passing periods.
Principal Petra Poitash says holding students accountable is key to their success.
They know how to have high expectations for themselves and for the teachers, and the teachers perform better because of that.
This is an owl pellet. We're dissecting it to find some bones.
Basis schools want to bridge what they call the international achievement gap. So the youngest students have two teachers. One is considered an expert in the subject area. The other is called a learning expert.
And that learning expert teacher understands child psychology, understands how to teach high-level mathematics to a child. So you have these two teachers in every classroom in grades 1 through 4, and that leads to students being able to get information from subject experts. It's very uncommon in district schools, very uncommon in schools generally.
At Basis Phoenix, where they serve 5th through 12th graders, the teachers cover more than one grade level.
For our next ionic equation.
And like many schools, Basis faces fiscal challenges. Every year, parents are asked to donate to the teacher fund.
100% of the proceeds of the fundraising go back to teacher performance bonuses. So we want to recruit them, retain them, and reward them for their excellent work.
Basis Ed CEO Peter Bazanson says parents also pay for extracurricular activities so they can put every public dollar directly into the classroom.
I think a big part of where we're fiscally conservative is in our facilities. I mean, we have facilities that are on small parcels of land, and much of our space within a facility is dedicated to classrooms. So we have very little in the way of what you might call non-revenue generating space. So we are very conservative with our facility build out. And so a typical district school will cost many times what we're able to build a school for at Basis.
They're raptors and they can't digest the bones.
Basis schools consistently rank high in national lists that focus on performance and standardized tests. But Bazanson says it's not because they only take the smart kids.
But it is a popular misconception. Because our kids are so smart, parents think that you have to be smart to make it here. But we make you smart.
While Basis schools charge no tuition and offer open enrollment, not everyone gets in. They have more applicants than space and rely on a computerized lottery system to fill a limited number of seats.
Basis currently operates 13 charter schools in the state with plans to open 4 more next year. We spoke with former State Superintendent of Public Instruction Lisa Graham Keegan, who helped draft legislation to create state charter schools. We also spoke with Arizona Education Association President Andrew Morrill. Good to see you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Before we get into, let's get into it anyway.
Let's get into it right now.
Well, okay.
We're ready.
Not that. Give me a definition. What is a charter school?
A charter school is a public school who's on contract with the state to increase achievement. So charter schools were brought into the public school system, Ted, in order to allow teachers to bring schools to the school marketplace that would elevate achievement in Arizona. So they'd be another option for parents.
The difference between a charter school and a district school?
So a district school traditionally has been the school that you're assigned to. Now, that in Arizona, probably maybe less than 40% or 40% of kids, I should say, are choosing outside that assigned area. But in local districts, a district school was the neighborhood school, It's governed by the district, and back in the day, that just was assumed to be your school. Arizona has not done that for over 30 years, way before public charter schools came around.
What do charter schools offer that's different from district schools?
Well, they offer a choice, and Arizona is a choice-rich state. Lisa knows all about that. By the way, I've never been described as a founder of anything, so I'm very jealous.
I shall remediate that.
The next time I'm on Horizon, I want to be described as the founder of something. Charter schools offer learning labs in best-case scenarios. Actually, the Arizona Education Association was not only curious but supportive of the concept of any setting that would allow those best practices to materialize. Some 20 years later, we have lots of questions, some answers. One thing we know is that in a choice-rich state, while a lot of policy attention is directed at charter schools, Arizona's parents are still overwhelmingly choosing their neighborhood public schools, so we want to put that all in perspective.
Why are they doing it? I think it's like 80-some-odd%. Why are they doing that?
It's actually about 18% of public school students in Arizona are in public charter schools, so Andrew's right about that a bit. So you get they choose the traditional school because that's what we're used to. I mean, remember, they've only been around for 20 years. So what we want is parents choosing excellent schools, Ted, and hopefully this bifurcation between district and charter really begins to sort of go away and we start to focus on who's an excellent school. So last year, Arizona charter schools, 73% of them either scored A or B grades or they improved a grade. In Arizona, if you're a charter school C or below, you're busy going out of business, we hope, because that wasn't the deal. And we have a lot of schools that did not make the grade. The Arizona State Board for Charter Schools is taking those schools out of business. But we don't just have BASIS, which is a fabulous system. We have a lot of high-performing public charter schools and district schools that serve very low-income kids. And that should be the bifurcation, excellence and everybody else.
Describe a typical charter school.
Well, a typical charter school is innovative. It is a learning lab, but I'm going to take Lisa at her word. I don't know that it's necessarily the differences so much in the design of instruction. I think that, you know, I'm going to, pardon me a moment for the analogy, but I'm a diehard U of A Wildcat fan. And we know in this area of the state that can present some political problems of its own. It's never about the students on the field when it comes down to the ASU-U of A rivalry. It's about those incessant fans for the other side. Sometimes I think it's like that with charter and district. We lose sight of what might be some of the common ground where the policy enthusiasm is. I will take a charter school teacher, devoted, wanting to do right by students, and say that the mission of that individual teacher is largely the same as the mission of an individual district teacher. But the policy arena has complicated this. It has bifurcated and really, in a sort of a tactic better reserved for seafood, created a kind of peel and eat mentality. Charter against district, district against charter, when in reality, we have major funding issues and we have a quest going on both at the district and charter level for the best practices, opening doors to all students. That's the mission of our public schools.
Same question. I'm not sure if you quite got the, I think you give me a one-sentence answer within that paragraph.
You know, I'm not going to play the what's different because there are a lot of similarities and a lot of differences.
No, my question was describe a typical charter school.
One. Nor is there a typical district school, Ted. I mean, it really depends on the leaders in that school, and this is really important for parents to understand. First of all, you should know the grade on your school, but that's just proxy for a lot of things. Right? You should be in an A or B school. If you're not, you ought to be asking some pretty serious questions. The whole state should be. A and B is not that difficult in Arizona. And then there's a whole host of other things. There is no typical school anymore.
Okay, answer me this. Can charters pick and choose students?
They may not. If they're doing it, it's illegal. So they have to take whoever comes, and you heard in the preview there on BASIS, they take a lottery system. So they're oversubscribed, they have waiting lists, they can't accept kids. I was just down at C.E. Rose in Tucson Unified School District, a fabulous, it's been an A school over the years, huge waiting list. They serve over 80% low-income kids. They're a district school. They do not look like other district schools. And parents want to get in there, go figure. So and it doesn't look typical. Trust me, they're doing some really innovative things. That's the leadership at the school, that's the teaching team at the school.
Well, here's the truth. Over time, institutions develop good practices, sound practices, and poor practices. Is everybody operating above board? We'd like to think so. We hear reports all the time of a certain kind of class management, student body management. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there aren't flaws in the district public education system. Some of the selectivity does seem to follow with the most celebrated charter schools. There are also examples, and I think it is true, there is no one charter school prototype. There's no one district school prototype. There are questions that both systems raise. How are we going to educate well every student in Arizona, and how are we going to make sure that the doors of a public school are open to everyone, Ted?
So are you saying some charter schools do pick a little bit and choose a little bit more?
I'm saying that in an institution with as many players, you hear stories again and again, patterns of behavior that would account for some of the student management in some. You got to be careful about generalizations, because just about the time you point to one charter school student body, you find another made up completely of minority students with an operating mission to educate students better than maybe even their siblings were educated, same family, different outcome. We just have to be careful. I think the thing that's really important right now in Arizona, with an overwhelming choice by parents of one type, the district neighborhood public school, I'd rather ask, why are so many policymakers acting as if that's somehow the wrong choice and doing everything they can to kind of steer people over to maybe their choices? So is this really about parent choice, or is it about a choice informed by somebody's political agenda?
Well, the growth, though, Andrew, the growth is all on the side of public charter schools, all on the side. So they were only building public charter schools. You've got a couple of districts that are still building district schools. And so it's not a static system. And nor do I think we should be betting on one or the other. We ought to be making it equal. I know that's kind of boring if we sit here and agree a little bit, but I don't know that there's going to be that much disagreement anymore, Ted. If we focus on exceptional schools, on high quality schools, that should be what's governing policy. What kind of liberties do you have to do that? What does the teaching staff look like to do that? What does hiring and firing practice look like to do that? Answer those questions, and you probably come up with some sort of hybrid model ultimately.
Well, are charter schools getting the results that you wanted, you expected to see when you helped start all this?
A bunch of them are now, as I said. So you've got 73% now at A and B, or increasing their grade. So yes, they're getting there, and I also think that kind of pressure is falling on the district side as well. You're seeing a lot of initiatives to raise achievement. Once we went to an A through F grading system in Arizona, people paid a lot more attention. It's easier to understand. So no, I mean, my ideal system in my happy bubblehead is we're all A quality schools, Ted. So until we're there, not yet.
The questions I would say that still exist are, not looking at any one charter school in particular, but across the industry of them in Arizona, how do we account for the fact that, for instance, Arizona has some of the highest percentages of free and reduced lunches in our public student population? Some 45% of students are ELL. We know growing populations of high need students. Arizona's economy is actually producing students at the poverty level the way it used to produce cotton and citrus, unfortunately, and that's sort of happened one session, one decision at a time. You don't find the student bodies of very many charter schools made up of the mix of students that make up the typical district students. So we do have to ask questions about that. No, it really is. Across the industry.
Go down to South Phoenix.
I don't think we're agreeing
NFL
anymore, by the way.
Champion
You'll find
schools.
individuals,
right next
but
to
you won't
Cesar
across
Chavez
the
and
industry.
Roosevelt.
When you add up the population of the students in the charter schools, you just don't get the same representation of the challenged students and needs, the ELL learners, some of the ethnic minority makeup.
Please.
So we'll talk about this. So when we first started public charter schools, they were massively overrepresented by low income and ethnic minorities because those kids didn't have great choices. Now, I think Andrew's right at the margins in some areas, but it is absolutely not true in low income, high quality schools. They break 60% district, 40% charter. We have 100 schools in Arizona that serve a vast majority of low income kids. 60 of those district, 40% charter. If you sit in a room and listen to these guys, you cannot tell the difference because they're focused on a practice that is excellent.
Again, a gap of certain success stories, certain schools that are exactly as Lisa describes. Regrettably, the ones being celebrated even by our current governor, and good luck to him, during the campaign as most worth celebrating, not exactly that kind of student body.
It's not true. He met with these low-income schools.
Well, I think one thing is for sure, charter schools are here to stay.
Indeed.
Oh, I think we know that.
All right, and we'll leave it at that.
To
We
be
agree.
continued.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you,
us. We
Ted.
appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Finally, tonight we take a look at specialty schools that offer a chance for students to explore a specific career path and gain real-world experience while still in high school. Producer Shauna Fisher and photographer Scott Olson look at one specialty school that's building a future workforce.
Kelsey Lucas may only be 17 years old, but she already knows what she wants to be thanks to a program at her high school.
It definitely helped me choose to go into an engineering pathway.
Kelsey attends CREST at Paradise Valley High School. Jack Clark oversees the program.
CREST is an acronym that stands for the Center for Research in Engineering, Science, and Technology. CREST has 3 areas of study: biotechnology, engineering, and computer science. And the reason that we chose to focus on engineering, biotechnology, and computer science is because those areas in industry were identified as lacking in those high quality, highly trained students. And so there is opportunity and will be additional opportunities in the future for kids coming out of CREST.
Students apply to the specialty program in 8th grade.
What we're really looking for is motivation and dedication, and not only the ability but the desire to learn and to work at a high level.
Starting their freshman year, the students concentrate on a problem or challenge they want to solve. During the next 4 years, they research ways to fix it, design a solution, and then senior year, they build their design. Kelsey and her team are working on a portable water purification device.
Our lens has ridges which collects sunlight and sort of directs it into a focal point, and we direct that focal point towards our tin can, which will boil the water and create steam, which the steam then goes up through our condensing coil and becomes regular water again. Now all the impurities and minerals that we don't want will remain in the can, which is easy to open up and empty out whenever they want.
The device could have far-reaching effects.
Many diseases that they get in third world countries are due to their water purity. So this system will potentially save many lives, especially with the younger population and the elderly that live there.
Seniors also participate in an internship. TGen, SRP, and McCarthy Construction are on the list. These companies are able to get a jump start on creating the kind of workforce they need, and students translate their hands-on experience into a valuable asset.
Opportunity that they're able to take advantage of, networking and relationships that they're able to build, as well as content knowledge to prepare them to move into STEM majors, STEM programs of study when they go from high school to college.
At CREST, you can see the students creating a new future for all of us, and Kelsey, for one, cannot wait to get started on hers.
I'm extremely excited to graduate and sort of with CREST under my belt, I feel like I've accomplished so much just in high school.
For more on specialty schools, we spoke with East Valley Institute of Technology Superintendent Sally Downey, along with Michelle Laundreville, a biotech teacher at Paradise Valley High School's Center for Research in Engineering, Science, and Technology, and Greg Donovan, Superintendent of WestMech, the Western Maricopa Education Center. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
As far as schools like CREST, just in general, specialties, how many we got here in Arizona?
Oh, that's a good question.
14.
14.
There are 14 joint technical education districts across the state of Arizona. This past November, the Yuma County residents voted to form a joint technical education district. So we now have this type of education available to students across the state of Arizona.
And we just saw CREST. Compare CREST to EVIT. What is the difference?
Well, CREST is a program, I believe, that's housed at Paradise Valley School District. EVIT is a separate campus. Our students attend from 10 different districts and come to our centralized campus for a half a day of training in one of 40 programs.
So it sounds as though we've got 14 in the state. This one differs from the one you're at.
Correct.
So in general, there are options out there, aren't there?
There are, and we actually are housed at Paradise Valley High School, so the students don't have to have any transportation throughout the day, and they can take all of their regular education classes at this one location.
What is the difference between applied learning and specialized learning? I mean, is it the same thing? Is there a difference? What are we talking semantics?
Well, I think we are talking semantics a little bit, but if you want to take the hardest definition of applied, is you take a very specific field of interest. Rather than any teacher could use an example of how you might apply something, but here we have a group of students who say, I want to know how this applies to the field that I'm interested in, whether that's medical assisting, sports medicine, culinary arts, or one of the transportation programs.
And the benefits of that kind of education.
Oh my, there's an old saying that tell me something, I hear it, show me I see it, but involve me in it and I learn it. And that's what applied education is all about.
And the specialized schools, can you be too applied? Can you lose a little bit of a general education?
It's a combination. There has to be theory. The cognitive piece is very important, but the hands-on piece is just as important. So it's a balance of the two, and the outcomes are spectacular because the students are focused, they're really involved in their learning. And we have proof at EVIT because 2 out of 3 of our students go on to college. And we have a 98% high school graduation rate.
As far as that idea that there's too much flexibility and focus and somehow a general education might get lost, how do you respond to something like that?
I don't think so. I think this is giving students choice. I think that for the students who are ready for these types of programs, who already have a passion for a particular field and who kind of are already thinking about their careers beyond high school, it gives them an opportunity to get ahead. And one of the things that I would like to say and kind of piggyback on what Dr. Downey was saying, we not only focus on content and applied skills, but we look at employability skills as well. We are all kind of governed by people from the business community who have helped write our standards, and part of a separate group of standards is specifically employability. So we can go that one step further. I mean, I've been a regular general education classroom teacher for most of my career, and by doing this, we're also specifically helping students prepare for the workplace. And some of those soft skills that employees may often get fired for not having those skills. Mm-hmm. We're working on that with those students now.
Yeah, the idea, I guess soft skills is kind of what I'm talking about. Not necessarily straight focus, but just the general idea of a general education. That's important too.
Showing up for school, showing up
being
up
on
for
time,
work,
yeah.
Working with other people, communicating, all of that is very, very important.
But when you know why you're here, Arizona Department of Education, their statistic, students who have taken 2 or more CTE classes, 96% graduate from high school. So those general education students, we know generally the graduation rate is not anywhere close to 96%.
Can you get that general education with those students?
Absolutely.
How so?
They continue to take all those classes, and we hear from parents regularly how every day was a fight, and now they're on the honor roll at their regular high school, and certainly they're in that A-B category for us as well. Everything begins to fall into place. It all makes sense. I hear about government regulation in the field that I'm learning, the applied mathematics, chemistry, geography. Where does this stuff come from? I mean, it all just starts to make sense.
What is a good specialized school or program? What defines a good program?
Well, in my opinion, it's one that focuses on the students. If you can find a passion that a student has, then you can turn it into a paycheck and you can set them on a path for success. But students, we know as educators, we've known for years that one size does not fit all. So you have to find the size that fits the student you're serving, and that's what we try to do with our 4,000 students at EVIT.
At 4,000 students, that's a lot of sizes over there.
A lot of sizes.
Yeah. Can it be difficult at times?
Oh, sure. It can be difficult, but I can tell you that once you find that key, that passion, the students soar.
When you find that passion and they soar, what happens if they're soaring over here, but as they age and they get older, they think they may want to go over there?
Well, one of the great things that we do at Crest is we have 3 specific programs that we focus on in computer science, which is new this year, bioscience, and engineering. And we have them for 4 years. We have a 4-year program mapped out for them, but they also have flexibility to explore other things. I know that I have several students who are also taking culinary and forensics or healthcare classes as well. So they do have that flexibility to go beyond just the program that we have and explore other options and passions.
Are these schools open to all students? Are there waiting lists? If a kid wants to get in, can a kid get in?
Yes, yes, and yes. We are very popular, and all of us and across the state, there are programs where there are waiting lists, and there's also programs where we have open seats. Student interest drives a lot of things, but we have that opportunity. I'd like to add that one of the other things that makes us successful is working with that business and industry relationship. Making sure we're student-centered is key, but we're answering that question, why? Because if you're interested in this, this is what employment demands. These are the credentials you must have. These are the skills you must know. And we contribute to the economy by turning out students who can be contributors to our society and be there.
Last point on this. What do parents watching right now need to know about specialized schools if it still seems like a foreign concept to them?
Well, they do need to do a little bit of their research. All of our programs are driven by business and industry, and what they need to research are the outcomes. There are some marvelous job opportunities in our workforce here in Arizona and across the country, as long as we can equip the student with a business and industry certification that's recognized everywhere. And once I think they do the research and see that, they'll think, every scholar does need a skill.
All right. Well, very good. It's good to have you all here. Thank you so
Great.
much for joining us. We certainly do appreciate it. And
Thank
continue
you
good
for
work.
the opportunity.
That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of Arizona Horizon. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Helios Education Foundation is proud to underwrite Arizona Education, a 12-month series highlighting the issues affecting college and career readiness of our students. Through a decade of strategic partnerships, Helios is working to change lives and strengthen communities through education.